In this video, I'll be showing you how to do advanced Cubeshape on Square-1, as well as showing you how to solve every single Square-1 Cubeshape case optimally. A few things before this video starts. There's a ton of Cubeshape cases, there's actually 90 of them, and that's not including mirrors, so with mirrors there's 180, which is a lot. For that reason, while I'll be showing all the cases, I won't be showing all the mirrors, and you kind of have to figure that out on your own. Another really important part of Cubeshape is to be able to do different cases from different angles. Again, there are a ton of angles for every Cubeshape case, which is why I won't be showing every single angle. Lastly, here's one quick tip on how to make Cubeshape angles a bit better. So the way you do this is to manipulate Cubeshape angles. So for example here, in this case, which you might not know but that's not important, there's two ways you can do this. Since the bar is not flipped, you can execute this Cubeshape at this angle, or this angle, which is the Y2 angle. So being able to pick between two angles allows your finger tricks to be usually a bit better. Here's another CS case, but here the bar is flipped. So again, you have two choices on how to execute this. First off, from this angle. Second off, you can't do a Y2, but what you can do is this rotation. So you have these two angles to execute this algorithm. So manipulating your angles is quite important during CS, so you always want to make sure that you check every single angle and see which rotation gives you the best CS angle to execute the algorithm. So a lot of CS cases can be done optimally, but in different ways. But in this video, I'll only be showing one solution for every case to make it a bit more simple. Also, since there's so many cases to go through, I will be going a bit fast in this video. So if you need to, just pause the video, go back, or maybe slow it down. So let's just start off with the easiest CS case, which is Kite. So Kite is when you have a shape like this. So you can think of it as two L's or maybe a pair here and a line here. And that's on both sides. So when you get Kite, it's pretty simple. Just do one slash and that solves the cube shape. So again, looks like this, slash to solve it. Next is barrel. So this one is when you have a pair here and a pair here from opposite sides of the puzzle. Same for the bottom layer. So if you have barrel on top, barrel on bottom, what you can do is do one slice from this angle to turn it into Kite, and then solve it from there. Of course, different angles matter. So if it's in this angle, the same thing, one slice into Kite, and then solve it. The next easy case is fist. So fist is when you have a pair here and then an L there. So a pair and then L, like that. Now in order to do this good fist alg, you want to make sure that the fists on top and bottom are mirror images of each other. So as you can see here, if there's a straight line here, this is a complete reflection of the other side. If it's not, you cannot use this alg, and you have to use a different alg, which will be shown later in this video. So if you do have this good fist, what you can do is go ahead and do this two slice alg. So make Kite with this one slice, and then finish it off with Kite. Now this is also another case with a ton of angles you can do it from. So here's another one. If it's like this, you can make the kite by pairing this and this, and this and this. Like that, to make cube shape. Here's some other angles you can do it from. So again, it's the same thing, good fist. So here you can make the kite like this and this. So slice to make cube shape. And then here's another fist, slice here, slice. So good fist has quite a lot of angles you can execute it from. So it's quite important to know as many as possible. The next case is scallop kite. So kite is unit 4, but then scallop is when you have the 4 here, like this. And this is quite an important CS alg. It's going to be used a ton later in this video, but here is how we do it. So hold them like this, so that you're breaking them symmetrically with the slice, and then slice, and now you have fist, which you can do like this to create Kite, and then solve the CS. To show another angle, here's it when the scallop is in the back and the kite's in the back, like this. So again, it's slice, but this time do fist from this angle. So like this, slice. So again, like this. Here's scallop. So again, it's the 4 and then the 4. So top and bottom layer both forward. And if you know this alg with the 8, then it's going to be quite similar to this alg because this is just one slice away from this. So if you have the scallop like here and here, you can go and split them both. Now you have the barrel, and you can solve that. Again, it's quite important to know cases from different angles. So if it's in the back, same thing, slice, and then do barrel barrel. Here's shield shield. So shield is when you have two pairs, but they're separated by one corner. So this, and then this. So this is shield, and when you have shield on top and bottom, it's quite simple. From this angle, go ahead and do one slice, and then you're left with barrel barrel, which is easy. So again, this out can be done from several angles. Here's an example of another one. So from here, I can do slice, and then barrel barrel. Here's mushroom mushroom. So mushroom or muffin sometimes. It's when you have the three and then the one opposite from it. So if you have it on top and bottom, go ahead and do this. You can use the lines of the mushrooms and then the pairs of the mushrooms to create a barrel in one slice like this. So be careful if they're lined up. So make sure it's not like this. Otherwise you'll get something that's not barrel barrel. Make sure it's lined up in a way that this two is opposite of this two, and then you get barrel barrel. From here you can just solve it. So again, this can be done from this angle. So create the barrel barrel, and then just solve from here. So here you have barrel kite. So here it's also pretty simple. Just one slice here, and you're left with fist. So different angle. So let's say the kite is misaligned like this. What we can do here for barrel kite is this. Slice. And then we have fist, and then solve fist like this. Next we have shield square. So square is just a square. So that's pretty self-explanatory. So when you have this case, it's simple. Go ahead and do this. One slice here, and that creates fist, and then solve that. So here's the mirror. So instead of doing it from here, doing it from here. So we have square on top, shield on bottom. Also pretty simple. One slice into fist, which can solve like this. And that solves the case. Here's mushroom square. So bottom is a square again. Top here is a mushroom though. So pretty simple. Bring this thing down and create fist like this. And then finish off the rest. Here's another angle. This time the bottom is misaligned, and we'll bring this down to create this fist, and then solve it from there. So next we have pawn. So pawn is whenever you have these three here, and then this one, all on one side of the cube, like this. Same for the bottom. So kind of like fist, the way you know this is a good pawn is if there's a line here, these are perfect reflections of each other, like this. If they are not, then you have another case which we covered later in this video. But for here, what we can do is something like this. Slice here, and yeah, fist. Here's the mirror. So again, hold them like this in a way that they're reflections of each other. Break up the L and the 2, slice, and then solve the fist. So before moving on, I would highly recommend going through each of those easy cases, going through their mirrors and their different angles that you can solve them in, and making sure that you master those cases. This is quite important because the rest of the cases of Cubeshape will lead into these cases, so it's quite important that you know these cases from different angles and you're able to master those cases before you get to the next cases. Also, for the rest of the cases, I won't be going through mirrors and angles, so you will have to kind of go through that by yourself. So first off, I'll be going through cases that go through scallop kite because scallop kite is quite a popular case to see. So here, this case I have the 4 here and an L here, and an L here. So first off, just connect these two L's like this, and then we're left with scallop kite, which is simple. Next we have this. We have 4 here and 1 L here, and we have the 2 here. So bring down this L. Now we have kite on bottom and scallop on top, and then do that. Same concept here. It's on the other side, but that's fine. So here I have 4 here and an L, and then the 2 here. So slice here to create scallop kite, and here is actually a great place to do scallop kite from the back. Because if you do it in the front, you have to do like a U2, so doing it from the back is actually a bit better there. So this time I have an L on the bottom and then this case on top. So this time I can think of it as 4 and then an L. So with this 4 and 1 L, I can connect these two L's like this. And then now I have scallop kite. Similar case here, I have the 4 and 1 L, and I have this L here. Go ahead and connect these L's, and then I have scallop kite, which I will do from the back here, which is a bit better. Finally, this case, so I have muffin or mushroom and then shield. So this is pretty simple. So I have the two here and the two here that can make a scallop. We'll bring this down, which makes the kite, which is perfect. So from here, slice here. Now I have scallop kite, which I'll do from the back here. So here I have the 4 and then the 2 on top and then one line on bottom. So this is also pretty simple. Just bring down the 2 on the bottom to create the kite. Now we have scallop kite. Another case here with the 4 and the 2 on top again, and then line on bottom. Hold the line on the left and create kite like this. Bring down the 2, scallop kite, and this time I'll do it from the back. So here I have scallop and then square here. So what I can do here is hold the 4 to the left to preserve it. And I have 2 L's here. So I put these 2 L's together, that creates kite, which is what I want, scallop kite. So here what I can do is bring this 2 up here to preserve it. Bring this L here and bring the L back down. So then after that I get scallop kite. So again, bring this L up, bring this L over, bring this L down. Now I have scallop kite here. Here I have pawn square. So for here, pretty similar. Can bring up this L here to the top. Now we're left with a 4 and an L. And now we can connect these two L's to create scallop kite. So again, you're using one of these L's to create the 4 here, and to bring out the remaining L to get scallop kite. Pretty similar here. I have the 3 and the 1, which is the pawn here, and then the square on bottom. So I can create the 4, bring one of these L's up. Now we have 2 L's here, which we can connect. And then we're left with scallop kite. So here I have a line on bottom and a bunch of edges here on top. So what I can do here is preserve the 4 first and then bring this line up. Now when I bring this line up, you'll notice that I have 4 and an L and then an L here. So again, from here, take this line and replace the L. Now I have 4 and L and then another L here. So from here, connect the L's. So I can do it like this, bring it down, and now there's scallop kite, which is flipped over, which is fine. Do it from this angle. Here's a very similar case. So I have this and this line. So take this line, kick out this L. Then you'll notice that I have 4, this L, which is perfect. Connect these two L's to make it the kite, and now I have scallop kite, which I can do from this angle like this. Here's another case. I have the 4 here, and this L here, and this line here. So preserve this 4, and take this line and replace this L. Then you'll notice that I have this L again on top, this L on bottom, and the 4 here. So connect these L's. Now I have scallop kite. So again, take this line to replace this. Now we're left with this case, connect the L's to create scallop kite, and then solve scallop kite. So here I have pawn barrel. So what I can do here is bring the 2 up to create a larger block. And by creating this big block, you'll notice that I have this line and this pair here. So by connecting those, I get scallop kite, and I can solve from here. Here's a similar case, pawn barrel. So again, bring up the 2 here. That creates this 4 and this line. And with this line and this 2, connect them to make scallop kite, and then solve that. Here are some more similar cases. So here, again I have this pawn on top, but this time I have shield on bottom. Very similar though. Bring this 2 up on top to create the bigger block. Now I have 4 in a line. Connect the line down. and scallop kite. Same thing here, pawn on top, shield on bottom, bring the 2 up to create a bigger block here. Now I have 4 in a line, and this 2, bring the line down, scallop kite. So here's some more similar cases. Again, pawn on top, 4 on bottom as a scallop. Same idea, bring up 2 like this to go ahead and create this 4 in a line. Bring the line and the 2 together like this, scallop kite, and then solve that. Same idea here, pawn, scallop, bring the 2 from the scallop up to create this 4 in one line. Line and 2 can make the kite, scallop kite. So here we have another case, 4 on top, a pair here, and then the L here. So what we can do is bring this 2 to the bottom while bring this L to the top, and what that does is creates 4 in a line while preserving the pair on the bottom. So one move here, bring it back down, and now we have the line and the 2 paired up, so we have scallop kite now. So again, we have 4, 2, and then the L, bring the L up while hiding this. Now we have the 4 in the line, which creates scallop kite like this. And then solve this from this angle. Very similar case here, 4, 2, L. So hide this 2 while inserting this L up here. Now we have this case, which is the 4 and then the line. Connect the line and the pair while bringing down the 4. So now we have scallop kite, and then solve it from here. Here are a few more cases. This time we have scallop and then fist on bottom. So what we can do here is preserve this 2 on the left and connect this L with the 4. This creates the 4 and now a line. So with this line, we can bring this line down to the bottom, connect it with the 2 to make a scallop kite, like this. Same concept here. Let's hold the 2 on the left, 4 preserve it on the left side. We can bring this L up to the top to create this 4 in a line. Bring down this line to the bottom. Now we have scallop kite. Here are the next 3 cases. So here I have pawn, kite. For this one, if you hold the kite in the back, you can notice this L, and you can bring this up to form 4 here. So if you go ahead and slice up here, create 4 here, and create the L here. Then you can use this L and this L, connect them to make the kite, scallop kite, and then just solve it from here. Here's a very similar case, pawn, kite. Again, we can bring one of the L's up to create 4 in L, and then connect the L's together to make the kite, then scallop kite. Then there's this one. For this one, to make scallop kite, you can move this 2 over to here. So first you would hide this while preserving this. So preserve the 4, hide the line to the top layer, move the 2 over, bring the line back down. Now you have scallop kite. So next there is fist kite. So for this one, what we want to do is connect this L with the 2 here, which creates 3. And then what we do is connect another L to the back of this to create 4. Now we have the 2 L's, connect the 2 L's, and then get scallop kite. The same is done here. We have the 2 here and then the L here. Take the L, connect it with the 2. Connect this L with these 3 like this. And then connect the 2 L's here. Then we get scallop kite, and then we're done. For fist square, it's a very similar idea. So here we have the 2 again. We can take the L from the square, connect it with the 2 to make 3. Then we can take the L from the bottom here, connect it with these 3 to make 4 and an L, connect the 2 L's, scallop kite. For this fist, same idea, hold the 2 to the left, attach 1 L to it like this, attach an L from the back to create 4 and 1 L, connect the L's, and then scallop kite. Here are a few more cases. So here I have 3 and 3 and then a pair on bottom. So what I can do here is again connect the pair with the block to create a bigger block, and that creates the 4 and a line. and with a pair on bottom. So from here, create the bigger block. Now we have a line and a pair which can make into a kite. And now we have scallop kite. For here, there's 6 and then an L here. So what we can do is take this L and kick out this pair here, like this. Now we're with this familiar case again, 4 in a line and then the pair. So connect the line and the pair to create the kite, and scallop kite here. Here are some more complex cases that go into scallop kite as well. So here we have this huge block and then this one here. So what we can do here is pretty simple. Just bring this L down to reduce it to the previous case, which is this one, and then solve this case, which is take this out, kick out this 2. You have this now, make it into scallop kite, and then solve it. So again, just bring out this lower L and just solve this case. So take this out, set it up in scallop kite, and then solve it. Next, there's this case, which isn't that great, but it can also be brought into scallop kite. So what I can do is bring this down, like this, and now I have these 2 pieces, and I can take one of those pairs to create a bigger block on top, like this. After that, I have the 4 and then the line, as well as the pair in the bottom, which is a very familiar case. Bring the line down, then we have scallop kite. Now into the scallop cases, there are also quite a bit of them, and they're also quite easy. So yeah, here's the first one, which you might already know, just the 8. So just break up the 8 into the 4 and 4, which is the scallop-scallop, and just solve that. Here's another case. Have the 4 here and 1 pair here, 1 pair here. Pretty simple, just connect these 2 pairs like this while preserving this scallop, and then we're left with scallop-scallop, which is pretty simple. Next, this case, same thing. Preserve this scallop here and then connect these 2 pairs. Now we're left with scallop-scallop. Next, there's this case, also pretty simple. We have 4 and 4, so we can bring it down like this, and you notice it's scallop-scallop already, and just solve it from here. So a few more easy ones. Here we have 6 and then a pair here. Also pretty simple, just bring up 1 pair from the top to the bottom. Now we have scallop-scallop, so that's simple. Another one here, 6 here and then line here. It's also pretty simple, just bring the line up here to the top. Now we have the 8, from the 8, it's pretty simple, just make the scallop-scallop and then solve it. Here are some more easy cases. So here I have the pawn here and mushroom or muffin on bottom. So what you can do is notice that if you connect this line on top like this, it creates this easy case with all pairs. So with all pairs, you can bring down 1 pair down here like this. Then that would create scallop-scallop, and just solve it from here. Here's another similar case, pawn, mushroom or muffin. And when you have this, again, just connect this line to the top. Now we have all pairs. Connect this pair of this pair. Now we have 4 and 4, which is scallop-scallop. And then solve it from here. Lastly, this case, 3 and 3 here, and then this line here. So what you can do here is pretty similar to the previous 2 cases. So just bring up this line here to the top and connect it with this. Like that. And now we have the 4, the 2, and the 2. With the 2s, you can just connect them like that to make scallop-scallop, and then solve it from here. Here's another case, scallop here and then shield on bottom, so 2 pairs of edges. So what you can do here is pretty simple. Preserve this 4 and then just hide 1 pair of edges. Bring this 2 over and then bring the pair back down. Now we're left with scallop-scallop. So again, hide this, bring this over, bring it back down, scallop-scallop. Next, there's these cases. So here you kind of have a pawn here and then a pair on the side. And then you also have a line on the bottom. So what you do here is bring up this line to the top. Now we have a 4 and then the pair. And this is a pretty familiar case. And I'll do it from the back. Bring this pair down and do scallop-scallop. So very similar here. Pawn here and then the 2 here and then the line here. So bring up the line here. connect it with this to create 4 and 2, and now we can bring down this pair to the bottom to create Scallop-scallop. So here's a few more cases. So here's pawn-pawn. So if you remember from before, if you have good pawn-pawn, then you can get a pretty easy solution. Here's bad pawn-pawn, however, you'll notice that if there's a line here, the reflection is incorrect. The 2 is here, and the L is on bottom, while on this side, the L is on top, and then the 2 is on the bottom. So whenever you have bad pawn-pawn, this is what you do. Put them on opposite sides of the cube, like this. Slice up, and now we have this case. So from here, break it into Scallop-scallop, and then solve from there. Here's also a pretty bad case, barrel square. But what we can do here is bring up this L to connect it with this pair. Now you're left with this bad pawn-pawn case. From here, connect them like this, and then create the Scallop-scallop, and then solve from here. So last two cases here. So here we have fist on top, and then barrel on bottom. So what you do here is you'll notice that we have this L here and a line here, and then the 2 pairs here. So we can bring up one of these pairs on top while connecting it with this L and kicking out this line here. So going ahead and doing this. Now we're left with this familiar case where we bring up the L again here to make this pair, which we can connect down to make the scallop, and then solve Scallop-scallop. Something very similar is done here. Again, it's fist, barrel. So first off, preserve this L, kick out this line with one of the pairs to connect it with this L. Now we have this case. With the pawn and the mushroom, bring up the line like this to connect it here to create the 4, this pair, and now connect that pair with this pair to make Scallop-scallop. Next, with stuff with shield, it's also pretty simple. So here we have a bunch of pairs on top and 1 pair on bottom. So what you can do is bring down one of these pairs like this in a way that creates shield on bottom. Shield's already on top. From here, just do shield. So here we have scallop and then barrel here. So what we can do here is from this angle, go ahead and slice. And you'll notice that with the slice, it will create the shield here and then the shield here. And from here, just do shield. Here are the last two cases. So for here, I have shield and barrel. So what I can do is turn this barrel into shield by taking this pair, bringing it to the top, move this slightly over and bring the pair back down to create shield. And now we have shield, and we can solve it like this. This case is mushroom kite. Pretty ugly case, but you'll notice that if you can bring this line down to the bottom, connect it with this line, that we're just left with that case, shield barrel. From here, same thing. Turn this barrel into a shield by hiding this, moving this over, and bringing this back down. Now we have shield, and we can solve it like this. Next, for cases that go into shield square, these are actually quite easy. So first off, we have this. So you'll notice that we have a shield thing here, 2 and 2, and this L here. Connect this L with the bottom L to create a square. Then we get shield square. This case is pretty similar. We have a shield thing as you can see here, and this L here, as well as an L on the bottom. Connect this L to the bottom to make it square, and then you're left with shield square. Next, there's good pawn fist. So for this case, you'll notice that when you bring this L down to create a square on bottom, you'll make a shield on top. And from here you can solve shield square. Same idea here. We have pawn and then shield. So same thing here. What we can do is bring down this L to the bottom to create a square. Then you have shield square, then solve it like this. So whenever you have a case like this, so pawn and fist, and you want to bring down this L to the bottom to make the square, but it doesn't make a shield, that means you have bad pawn fist. So if it's bad pawn fist, you should refer to a solution, which is later in this video. But if it is good pawn fist, it should lead to shield square. Here are the next few cases. So for here we have a pawn here, and then an L with a pair on bottom. So what we can do is turn these two L's into a square and then bring this down to the bottom to create a shield. So to do this, hide this L first, bring this all over a little bit, and then bring this back up. That creates a square on top, and then shield's already on bottom. Solve the square shield. Same is done here. So again, the pawn is on the left, we have the L here on the right, and then the pair right here. This case is also pretty simple. So what you do is take this L, replace the two of it, and connect it with one of these. So once you connect it here, you're pretty much left with that case that I just showed you. So you have a pawn here, the L, and this pair. So make the square on top by preserving this, moving this L over, moving it back up, square shield, and then solve the square shield. So next we have these cases. So over here I have shield on top and then kite on bottom. So we want to turn the kite into a square to get a shield square, which is better. So the way you do this is hide the shield on bottom, misalign this L up here so it becomes a square, not a kite. Slice back down and you'll see that this becomes a square. So again, we have kite on bottom, preserve these four edge pieces, misalign the L, bring the edge pieces back up. Now we have a square. Then we have shield squared, which is pretty easy. Next case is this one. So we have mushroom and then we have barrel. This is pretty simple. Just bring this L down here. Now we have shield kite. So this is just what we did before. Turn this kite into a square by preserving this, misaligning, bringing it back down, shield square. Here's another case. So we have 2, 2, 2, and then this line. So again, it's pretty simple. Just bring down this pair down here. Now we have shield and kite. So here you can do it from this angle, where you preserve the L, move the L over, bring the L back down to get the square. Now we have shield square, and we can solve it from here. So here are the last few cases. First off, we have fist fist. If you remember from before, good fist fist can be done in 2 slices, but this is bad fist fist, which is a bit longer. So if you have this, you want to bring this L down to the bottom in a way to connect with this L to create a kite, like this. And now you notice we have shield kite. So do this, misalign the L, bring it back down to get shield square, and solve it like this. Same with the other bad fist fist. Bring this L down to connect it with this L, create the kite. Now we have shield kite, turn it into shield square like this, and then solve it like usual. Here's the final case, which is the longest CS case, which is kite square. This is pretty bad actually, but it could be done pretty fast actually because it's 2gen. So first off, we have the kite in this orientation. We could bring these two down here to turn it into fist fist, bad fist fist. From here, just again like before, bring the L down, connect it with this L to create the kite. From here, just do kite shield, which is turning it into shield square and solving it from there. Now for the cases with pawn pawn. Here's the first one, 6 here and 2. You can divide it in half like this so that you can kind of visualize one pawn here, one pawn here. Slice it down and then solve it from here. Pawn pawn. Here's another case. So here you can break it down into 4 and 1 L, but a better way to visualize it is like this, a pawn and 1 L. So bring down this L to connect it with this pair. Now you're left with pawn pawn. Next case is here, 3, 3, and this L in the back. So what we can do is kick out this while bringing up this L. So now we created the pawn here. The pawn's already on bottom, and then solve it from here, pawn pawn. Next, there's these cases. So here we have fist on top and then shield on bottom. So what we can do here is see this line from the fist and connect it with these pieces. So bring up this shield like this. Now we have 3, 3 and this L, and this is a pretty familiar case. Go ahead and turn this into pawn pawn like this, and then solve pawn pawn. Same idea here. You have the L from the fist connected with the shield on bottom here. Now we have 3, 3 and this L, so connect the L with this to create pawn pawn and then solve it like this. So next we're going to cover bad pawn fist. So we already covered the good solution, which is going into shield square, but if it's bad, this is what you do. So the way we solve this is by turning this into good pawn pawn, by turning the fist into a pawn. So you'll notice that if we move this 2 here, then we'll actually get good pawn pawn. So the way we solve this is hide this to the top layer, move the 2 over, bring the L down, now we get good pawn pawn. So solve it like this. Same idea in the other case. Here we have pawn on the left side, and then we have this and this. So what we can do to create good pawn pawn is move this L here. So we can hide this pair here, bring the L over, bring the pair back down. Now we have good pawn pawn. Next is these cases, which aren't too great. So it's fist and then mushroom or muffin. So what I do is hold this L to the left and hold this pair to the right side. So what I can do here is hide this line from the mushroom to the top layer, bring all this shield stuff to the left, and then bring the line back down. And now we have this case, 3, 3, and this L. From here, just one slice into pawn pawn. So same idea here. We have the L here and then the pair here on the right. So hold this pair to the right, take this line, bring it to the top layer to preserve it, put all the shield stuff to the left, and then bring the line back down. Now there's 3 and 3. Now we have L 3 3, which is one slice into pawn pawn. So yeah, that should be it for all the CS cases for Square-1. Hopefully it wasn't that bad. The basic idea is to reduce the cube shape of the Square-1 into other cube shapes that you know that are a bit better until you get the square square. As you've seen from this video, learning different angles for Square-1 cube shapes is extremely important for Square-1. Throughout this video, I've used a lot of different angles for my different algorithms because they avoid unnecessary U and D moves. So they are quite important and I would recommend getting really good at those. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching and hopefully you found this helpful.